Thanks, Wolf. You know, politics is a funny business. Funny strange. A year ago, Arlen Specter was a Republican. He voted against Elena Kagan, the president's new Supreme Court nominee, back when she was up for her current job as Solicitor General. He voted for the Bush tax cut and backed John McCain for president in 2008. But turn on a TV in Pennsylvania tonight and marvel at this.
I love you and I love Arlen Specter.
It is more a marriage of convenience than love for both men, and it is Exhibit A heading into a remarkable week in politics. 1 week from today, primaries in Pennsylvania, Kentucky, and Arkansas will help us better understand just how restless voters are on the left and the right. We'll begin tonight on the left, and with two outspoken voices who are not afraid to question the president or challenge the conventional wisdom. Joining me in New York, radio host Amy Goodman from Democracy Now!, and in Washington, CNN contributor Paul Begala, a veteran of the Clinton presidency and no stranger to tough races in Pennsylvania, where Republican turned Democrat Arlen Specter is in trouble. Let's start there as we try to capture, Amy and Paul, some of the frustration on the left. And first, another quick sampling of the TV ads there. It is a rough and tumble race. Here's a snippet.
I want to say a few things about Arlen Specter. He came to fight for the working men and women of Pennsylvania.
Our change in party will enable me to be re-elected.
Arlen Specter switched parties to save one job, his, not yours.
Amy, let me begin with you as somebody who speaks forcefully for the left. Does it offend you that the president is helping Republican turned Democrat Arlen Specter after all those votes against Democratic priorities?
Well, I mean, I think it's very clear when you look at Pennsylvania, when you look at various states and these primaries, that you have these insurgents, people who no longer represent the establishment, but probably represent the majority of people. And we're talking about Democratic challengers who don't accept well, here you have a Republican who opportunistically moved to the Democratic Party, but really doesn't represent the traditional Democratic agenda.
And Paul, Amy used the word opportunistic. In a year when people are anti-incumbent, anti-establishment, maybe looking for authenticity, does Congressman Sestak, Joe Sestak, a former admiral, challenging Senator Specter in the primary, essentially saying, this guy's a phony, is that a better sell?
He's not, I think, so much saying he's a phony as he's saying he's been a Republican for 36 years. I mean, the debate they had, Admiral Sestak, Congressman Sestak now, just kept hammering Senator Specter on the Bush tax cuts. You'd have thought Bush was still on the ballot. And I didn't think Senator Specter responded as forcefully. If I'd been advising this, every time you hear Sestak say Bush, you need to answer with Obama, because Obama is cutting ads for Arlen Specter. But this is I think he's in a ton of trouble in Pennsylvania, Senator Specter is. And I think that Barack Obama has to do this. He's the leader of a church, as it were, that needs to seek out converts, right, not hunt down heretics. But it doesn't mean that the rank and file in the party are going to follow Barack Obama just because he says Arlen Specter's a great guy.
I want to stay on this point, Amy, because in the next block we're going to talk with some people on the right about this idea. Is it about converts and heretics? Is there a purity effort going on in the Republican Party? But in the Democratic Party, let's look quickly at first the polling. One poll recently, in the morning call tracking poll, shows Sestak actually pulling ahead, now 47 to 43%. He was down just a couple of weeks ago. Other polls have shown Senator Specter just ahead. So this is clearly a very tough race going into the end. And one of the pressures on Senator Specter is he voted against Elena Kagan, again, now the Supreme Court choice, when she was up for Solicitor General. And Sestak is pressuring him, saying, are you going to vote against her again? Are you going to vote her against her again? Why don't you announce now? Dana Bash talked to Senator Specter today, and he said he would not be bullied. He's going to wait for the confirmation hearing.
People would not expect me to make a knee-jerk reaction before I know the facts and the issues and have an opportunity to make a formulated, considered judgment. And that is exactly what I will do, as I always do.
So, Amy, does that position, which is consistent with his record, hurt again when the question is, are you a real Democrat?
Well, I mean, I think the question of are you a real Democrat on someone like Elena Kagan is not so clear-cut. There are a lot of people, progressives around the country, who are deeply concerned about her not having an established record, who are concerned about what it is, how exactly she would cast her vote, make decisions when it comes to issues of expanded executive privilege and issues like that. So I don't think that really is the testing ground for whether someone is a real Democrat, whether they would support the Solicitor General.
Amy, can I ask you, could Specter get away with saying I was against Elena Kagan for Solicitor General because she was too conservative? I don't think anybody's going to buy that in Pennsylvania, right? They're going to say, no, you were against her because you used to be a Republican, right?
Right, but on that point, Amy raises the doubts on the left about Elena Kagan. There are other questions of the left, which is one of the